Yes, now, and welcome back to episode 130 of the Top Loader podcast. And a massive thanks yet again to the guys over Third Down to Space for powering up this episode of the Top Loader podcast. For whatever your hobby needs are, go and check them out via the link in our bio over on their Instagram and use TTP10 for 10% off everything. And we've got quite a few sets to digest again today after seeing them a bit more and after seeing some big hits pulled and actually going to be some big hits on the podcast for a different change, which is very nice. But obviously, welcome back the man, the myth, the legend with the 10% off all your Tops Now needs at Tops GBW. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. It's great to be back. And as you said, there's a lot to speak about. A lot of new releases. Some were a little bit more surprised than the others. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a chat and obviously showing off a pretty humongous card that just sat right in front of me as well.
Yeah. Well, before we get into that set, there was obviously a drop last Friday, I think it was now. Tops obviously do love delving into worlds of Chrome, but different areas. Obviously, we've had Sidemen in the past. We've had a bit of honestly, it seems like a bit of everything now, especially sports-wise. But when we go into the franchises and different films, it always seemed to me, I think, after watching the Golden documentary, how crazy the comic world is, and that whole DC versus Marvel world is crazy. So, Marvel Chrome has been brought out, sold out, near enough going to be, but just looking at it, just the little pictures we've seen so far, I tell you, it looks incredible. Some of them pictures that they put on them cards, and also some quite cool actual O's in there as well, what they didn't first of all say.
Yeah, it's different. They've taken on some of the I think advice people wanted from the Disney set, and actually having real autos from people who, I think it's artists from the Marvel comics. It's impressive. It's impressive, and I quite like how it's not like the film pictures of the characters. It's like the comic book designs. It's traditional, and that, as you said a minute ago, with the whole golden thing, and obviously comics being huge in the collectible space, that sort of keeps that continuity from the comic sphere, and bring it into cards. And one of the, if not the most marquee set out there, Topps Chrome. It's going to be huge, and we're seeing it retail 185, something like that, and it's already pre-orders are going on reselling for 400 plus. It's absolutely crazy. It's doing more than what Disney was doing at this point, which I didn't think was possible.
Yeah, as I said, like when you think of iconic characters through time, I know when we look at some of the most historic comics of all time, you're looking at the first Spider-Man, the first Superman, first Captain America. And one of the super fractors, which we know is going to be a massive chase, it's Spider-Man. And like they've got the pose right and everything. And I think what you've touched on is fantastic. I think it would have took away from the card if it was like the real life film type of imagery. But to have the cartoon where it all started, I think that was the perfect play for them, because we see that in other things where if they would have gone for like a Tom Holland one, you'd been like, it's cool, but there's been so many different Spider-Men that someone might be like, I prefer someone else. Whereas the cartoon is the cartoon. That's what's been around for decades. And I tell you, it's, when you look at Marvel, I self-claimed I'm not a massive comic guy, but the artwork is always absolutely fantastic. And some of these Marvel cards that I've seen so far, like especially like the Fantastic Four and other bits like that, but some of these, I know we said it, some of them not live autos, because Incredible Hulk is not going to be signing a card. That's not going to last long. But so many of these are icons, a bit like Disney. In fact, obviously you had the main chase was always, well, when the original Kakuo sets, it was Steamboat Willie, and then obviously Mickey Mouse in the Chrome. But there's so many icons of film industry, comic industry, or even just everyday life that there's a lot of chase cards in this set.
Yeah, I mean, I've just looked at some of the pictures again, and there's the quad auto of Captain America, Spider-Man, Hulk, and Thor, which is obviously they're all the printed signatures, or whatever they're called, facsimile. I can't remember the exact word. But how cool is that? That would do some serious numbers at auction. And then obviously the comic book actual designs they've reprinted onto cards, that they'll look good. they've just smashed it, haven't they? They've done well to get the Marvel license. I know it sort of comes under the Disney sort of sphere these days. Quite a few of those characters, at least. Yeah, I mean, Disney Chrome, Marvel Chrome. What next?
But that's the thing of it. What isn't it? Like, it does get your brain flow. Like, what some of the stuff you enjoy and some of the stuff you like, because we see some of these like box toppers as well that they're doing in these, which are like comic designs. So, but you got to think. I mean, we were speaking about it. Like, there's so many different programs. Like, obviously, will someone retaliate with a DC one as well, and then have it DC versus this? You got like so many things are out there. Like, my mind goes to like so many different cartoons. Obviously, it's very different, the licensing and everything like that. But as you say, we've seen them go for 450, some of them creeping to 475 already, and that is without anyone seeing an actual card. So people are already paying near enough 3x for these boxes of Marvel cards. And you know what's going to happen? First box, someone's going to hit a Red Wave Spider-Man, and then it's going to probably go to 800 because people are like, wow, that's incredible. And especially if the Spider-Man, the Captain America 1-of-1 Super Fractor is not pulled straight away. I can say that you can just see it already, like starting to creep up in price. But with likes of Goldin, obviously their whole industry, they're like, is geared around like the comics and cards. It's like, it feels like a perfect combination for Ken Goldin just to absolutely trying to attack Marvel Chrome and try and get all the hits on Goldin auctions. But I've got to say, I would agree that the Spider-Man Super Fractor will end up on Goldin as long as it doesn't get pulled by an actual collector, because that card is going to do quite a few quid, I'd say.
Yeah, the Spider-Man one, the Hulk. I mean, imagine even a Hulk out of 99 green parallel. I mean, that would look fantastic. There's definitely some creative parallels they've done. I haven't actually had like a proper look at the checklist with the parallels, but there's a Human Torch one I've seen, one of 39, which is cool. Yeah. I don't know why it's 39. There must be some sort of reasoning for that. It's like with the Mickey one, it was the 23, wasn't it, for the blue wave in Disney Chrome. Yeah, I mean, you just have to say fair play to Topps for this one. They've done very well to get those real autos in as well. I think it's just such a good addition to what looks like a very good-looking Chrome set. It's interesting though; it's 12 packs per box, 6 cards per pack, so a little bit different to normal Chrome. The usual 18 packs of 4. So hopefully it doesn't damage the cards too much with more cards in the pack. But yeah, hopefully it will be a success, which no doubt it will.
Yeah, and we always talk about Topps, Panini, whoever it may be, actually like listening to feedback or coming up with quite unique designs. And one of them that I was seeing when I did look at the checklist was there's obviously, like you said there's a Human Torch refractor. There's also like a Spider Web refractor, which obviously is going to be very cool. But also there's a first appearance one, which is really cool. So, for example, Incredible Hulk's first ever appearance was in 1962. So that parallel for him will be a Topps 1962 design because that was the first year that he was featured. Like stuff like that is such a cool idea. We see it with the throwback cards sometimes within like mainstream Topps Chrome in terms of like 1990s design, maybe 1950s. We see it with the Bundesliga, the throwback design in the special packs for their anniversary. But that's all you ask for. It's just cool stuff. And like you can imagine, if you're a Spider-Man fan, you're going to go after a Spider Web refractor. That's going to be unbelievable. But like with Disney, we see it with some of the color matches in there. For example, like Mike, obviously from Monsters Inc., the green parallel was so clean. But in this one, there's going to be some very nice color matches, just like Arsenal, which are going to be red to 5. I can tell you, like, I'm not a Marvel fan, but even I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see a couple of these opened. And yeah, it's going to be the sky's the limit for this, but it does open the door now to what other sets are on the rise. I know one of the shows that I really like, which had a few sets come out, was like Stranger Things, stuff like that. It opens the door for a lot more, which is fantastic. And talking about opening the door, well, obviously we was talking at length about it when it was first announced via Topps that the Luke Littler created set, the Platinum Create set, whatever it may be called nowadays, is coming very soon. It was speculated, well, it was said beginning of September, so that's right about now. However, Panini, it's hard. I don't want to say I've gone and done one better, because the actual flight use, like match use stuff is really cool. But they decided to just drop it in there for everyone to see, a PDC Panini set featuring a lot of the top guys, including the likes of Luke Littler. And I tell you, that one's got me excited.
Yeah, they've gone all out. You saw the teaser trailer of all the people signing it. Like I think Phil Taylor's in there as well, which is that's a huge name. Fallon Sherrock as well is in there. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. What sort of product it will be? Will it be like a score type thing? Will it be autos won a case or something stupid like that? Or will it be more like I don't know, guarantee auto per box kind of product? We'll have to wait and see. Because it's being released in the UK, I'd imagine it's probably the former.
Yeah,
just an auto, pretty rare to come by. But you never know. As you say, though, it has definitely one-upped, I'd say, the Luke Littler set ever so slightly. I know the Luke Littler one does have the match used darts or flights and stuff like that, and on card autos, I'd imagine. But this one with some of the names they've got is sky's the limit for it.
But like we say, with sets, you want it to be released at the dead right time. It's where we've seen it quite a lot. Sadly, Euros for tops, the actual set is coming this month. Women's Champions League Chrome from last season is hopefully the beginning of October. However, when I was reading the announcement between PDC and Panini over on the PDC website, there was a few things that I took from it, and I thought for us darts fans, it's fantastic. And it's a multi-year licensing deal. And they said the first exclusive trading card collection will launch at the end of the year, celebrating the World Darts Championships. Already, perfect timing. Everyone looks forward to the World Darts Championships at Ali Pali. So to know that they're aiming to release it for that. But then it's like, all right, shall we just drop a couple of names of who's signing? That's all right. Let's just drop a couple of names, which they did. Okay, featuring Phil Taylor, greatest player to ever play the game. Luke Littler, the up-and-coming star. Then there's just two other names. Just Luke Humphries, the world champion, and Michael Van Gerwen, probably the best player in the last 10 years. So even just them four autos, you've got the absolute GOAT of darts. You've got the up-and-coming star. You've got the current world champion, and you've got the most all-round player in the last 10 years. So just four names, nothing special that you've got four of the best players. Like, it's just, for me, like they've gone out there and just said, look, we're going to smash this set. And to know it's releasing end of 2024, around Christmas time, which is going to be very dangerous, in time for the World Darts Championships, let's just hope they don't sell these boxes at Ali Pali, because a few of them might be ending up in some nice jugs of whatever lagers on sale. But it really does show an intent. This is a multi-year licensing deal. So what else will come? And we know what Panini are like, that if they do get the set right, it's going to be such a well-collected set, especially within UK. And they did add as well Germany as well, because there's a big fan base there, and obviously they've got the licensing for Germany as well. So you don't really want to build up a set because it normally disappoints, but it's quite easy to get carried away with this one.
I think it's got a higher ceiling as well than that Littler set. I really do. With some of the names you've listed there, I mean, Michael Van Gerwen, that's a cool one. People love him. There's so many likable characters in darts. And to have all of them in rather than just one darts player, don't get me wrong, it's a very good player that Tops have got. But Panini have they smashed it with this one. Just as I said a minute ago, it just depends on what sort of format it is. Will it be like a deck box type thing? Will it be like a Donruss hobby box? I don't know. Will there be base cards? I don't know. No one knows at this point. All we know is the first bits of information, and then it's releasing at, as you say, a perfect time of year, just before the World Championships at Ali Pali. You'd imagine they'd do some promo at that event. I'd imagine they'd get a few people to the darts, get some pictures of the cards, get some on-card autographs as well. You never know. So, just want to see some pictures of the cards now, don't we?
There was teased by Matthew Porter, who's like the CEO. He went, the cards look fantastic. Show us then.
Yeah.
It'd be intriguing what kind of set they go with. Did they go along the Donruss route? Did they go along the optic route? Did they go along the score route? Like, there's so much it could be done. Is it it'd be lovely, like a standalone set, like its own unique set. Like, is it, let's say, doors left open to them, and at least we know they were signing they look like quite a few sheets of autos.
Yeah.
So it looks like it won't be a very, like, hopefully it's going to be one per box autos, something along that line. But obviously, coming from you with a breaking background, you'd be able to break darts products. It was going to be a bit harder with the Littler set with Tops. Who wants to buy the Littlers? But okay, you just get a personal.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited to do breaks for that. We've already had loads of messages as well saying, oh, "Are you getting this in?" Yes, we will. And a lot of people in my comment section on YouTube as well have been asking, coming from a darts background, that they want to see videos of this product. So you can tell it's a huge sport, and it links well to football darts. It's got a similar fan base with the whole culture of fan culture of the sport.
Yeah.
So that's why it's definitely going to be a hit amongst collectors. Plus, as we know, Stephen Bunting himself collects cards. Big into his Liverpool cards, and I think his kids do match attacks as well. So that's going to be big. He'd be opening up boxes on his Instagram lives and stuff like that. This is the thing. Darts players, they seem like such nice, down to earth people who will just sit there. Like with the Women's Super League stuff, when the stickers came out, they just put stuff on their stories constantly, opening up packs because they enjoy it, because they're seeing themselves on cards and collectibles for the first time. That's what I feel like it will happen with the darts as well. So I'm hopeful to see a bit of Stephen Bunting opening up some of the darts boxes, get him in as special guest breakers with people. Inevitably, he'll be all over. He loves it.
Yeah. Like I say, especially him being in cards, let's hope that they've approached him to his autograph. Like I say, it's going to be one of them that we'll be able to dissect it a lot more, probably closer to the December time when it goes on sale / the checklist is released, or even when they do put some teasers here and there. But obviously, we can't wait for that one. And another sport, obviously, now we've seen quite a lot of it be broken. Obviously, you broke it yourself, and I know you're going to show off quite a beautiful card for anyone watching along in a second. Topps Tennis Chrome has now been out for a bit of a while. The prices on some of the singles, obviously, we're not talking about all of them because some of them not as big of a name. Some of the big names prices have been incredible. You're talking base autographs going for 500-600. That's like what it used to be like in the boom for the football market. But now that you've had your actual hands on the set, done a couple of cases, I believe now. What's your overall thoughts on it? Because it's a hard product to hit in what we thought beforehand. So has that lived up to the billing? Because it did seem quite a substantial checklist.
As we said, it is hard to hit because there's 200 plus base cards. Some of them we've never heard of. They're outside the top 100. They're pretty poor. But again, that doesn't stop people paying a decent bit of buck for the players. Especially if they're American. This set's gone pretty big in America, as you'd probably expect. There's quite a few American tennis players in the product because it's Topps making it, Topps US and all that stuff. There are some, as you say, some base card autos doing some decent numbers, which is crazy. And the cards themselves, I think they look pretty cool. Like the design, the quality control's been pretty good from what I've seen on the cards that I've picked up. Quality control's good. Coloring's nice on the cards. I like the sort of tennis court design in the background as well. It's just a nice added touch. So, if you hit one of those, the big two, we know who we're talking about. If you hit one of the big two, even like the highest number parallel, you're getting some decent money back.
Yeah, talking about the top two, obviously, for people who don't follow tennis, it is Carlos Alcaraz, a Spanish player. And in my eyes, the greatest player to ever play the game. Especially for longevity, Novak Djokovic, obviously the Serbian tennis player. And for most of us, we would dream and think, what would it be like to hit a lovely gold autograph of Novak Djokovic? So what was it like to hit a very nice gold auto of Novak Djokovic?
Well, if you are watching along, people listening in, have a look on your screens now, because you will see a... out of 50, Novak Djokovic Aces autograph from a Breakers Delight case. We had this spot up for £310. It wouldn't sell. We had to do half price, still wouldn't sell. We sat there for about 10 minutes, and we thought, you know what, we're taking it for ourselves. And Djokovic pops out second box. It's unbelievable, and I knew it'd be expensive, but I wasn't thinking four figures, which is it seems to be the going rate for Novak Djokovic. Out of 50 auto, it's not like it's an out of 5, or if you go into soccer, you're not getting four figures for an out of 50 auto realistically, unless it's Messi. Any other player, it's just not happening. No, I don't even think Ronaldo these days. So yeah, it's crazy. You don't really see Djokovic's auto much, really, either. And it was so cool to see it. His little smiley face is added on there as well. I absolutely love it. Such a cool card.
Yeah, I was going to say, if anyone wants to see the actual reaction of it, I do head over to Duff Prake's Instagram page. It's great. It's like when you first open, like you first reveal it, and you're like, no, it's not, is it? And then you look there, you're like, oh, it is. You get that reaction. It's that split seconds of realization, no matter what break you're in, of no, that ain't actually what it is. Even though it's not, you can see it's Novak Djokovic's head. You're like, it can't be. No. And then you go, oh my god, it actually like. But that's another great thing. I think obviously now I believe the Andy Murray 1-of-1's been pulled, but there's still some big hits out there for Tennis Chrome. I think it's probably one of them due to the price of it a little bit and how many players are in it. It's not always been the best of sales, but also people are going to just sit on them cases. It's going to be similar to what people did with any of the Topps Chromes. They're going to sit on them. It's going to be similar for the basketball that's just come out as well. That obviously we know now that I believe some of I think even the Super Fractal was pulled this weekend for Victor Wembanyama in that one. But if you had to, obviously it's hard to rate a set out of 10, especially tennis, because it's very different to a team sport. Like a 300 player checklist in football is quite attainable, quite easy. 20 different teams, or even for Champions League and UCC competitions now, 6 players a team and you get up to 300. So is it one of them you think is very well priced in terms of retail, but not? It's never going to be a set to really make your money back. Obviously, if you get lucky, yes, but on a mostly, it's quite a tricky one.
It's a very hard product to hit. To make your money, if you were to buy a box of Hobby or even Breakers Delight, some of the boxes we opened were absolutely awful. So, I personally, if you're not into tennis, you don't really collect anyone, I'd avoid it. But obviously, if you are a tennis fan and you want to give it a go, then by all means, you do you. Especially in Hobby, there's some great dual autos you can get of some nice legendary players, including, of course, a Djokovic Alcaraz dual auto. So if you do hit one of them, then you're looking at a nice payday. Yeah, if you're a tennis collector, even if you are, I'd probably just stick to breaks of the specific player you're into. There's loads of breaks going on. I was having a look on eBay last night, and you've got your classic eBay breakers on there, selling off all the players. It's an absolute ball ache to break because of the amount of players and everything like that. So tricky one to hit. Ear with caution, going into a tennis break. That's all I'd have to say.
Yeah, like I say, and there was another release that came out recently, and I think it's quite an intriguing one just to talk about quickly. Obviously, Select last season went down. I would argue say a lot of people near enough had Select as their set of the year. Was a fantastic release, great looking cards, and they've done something quite interesting this year. So it's a similar format to last year in terms of there was La Liga Select, Serie A Select, Premier League Select, and FIFA Select, where that was more focused on the international side. So they've done the same thing this year. However, they put a lot more club sides in FIFA Select, and a few pictures started to come out from this. There's an example of Kamada, who plays for AC Milan, Destiny Udogie, who plays for Spurs, and then also William Saliba, who plays for Arsenal. And if you're going to do a checklist for same set but just slightly different, if I was you, and I think obviously if you was in charge of the set, you would have it so either the image is like a variation, so it's very different, or you would A, probably just select different players, but B, same game, looks like it's just stood to the left or just stopped running. It's a really intriguing one because it surely loses value on the cards in Premier League Select and FIFA Select because they're pretty much the same thing and they're the same parallels. It's not the cheapest of boxes. It just seems an interesting move from Panini. Why why stick to a very similar few players rather than just change it up? Or why not then put them in the away shirt rather than their home shirt? Or just saying, I just don't get that one personally.
No, it's just laziness, to be honest. They might, to be fair, they might have only had a select, pardon the pun, a select number of pictures of the specific player.
Yeah.
That could be it. They only get given a burst of pictures they can use throughout the season, perhaps. I don't know. In like the Kamada one you showed me, it's exactly the same. Like he's taken that, he's moved his left foot, something like that. It is a bit frustrating because that Serie A one, I think, is one of his first cards. For Kamada. I think Top's Finest was his first official one, but then that one was the first Panini one. So, yeah, for someone who has very little cards, for him to already have pretty similar ones to each other is not great because he's quite a big rookie chase, the Kamada spot. So, yeah, the good thing, though, about FIFA Select is that the print run is lower. You will get some. If you're opening up a hobby box, there's a high chance you're getting something low numbered, maybe multiple things low numbered, and then with the auto checklist as we looked at before, once it's looking pretty strong.
Yeah, no, that's it's always a very good release when we see Select. Some of like the parallels on it are incredible looking, especially your golds. The golds look fantastic, and there is another set that we got our first look at in the Panini world, which I know you're a fan of one of the designs, and it's one of them that we've been waiting quite a while for, which is Panini Obsidian, obviously 23-24. And I think Obsidian's one of them sets that I personally believe it's one of the most underrated sets. Some of the prices you get for Obsidian cards is just not anywhere near other sets. And for me, looking at Obsidian, I love the design. Some of the, obviously, Lamine Yamal Color Blast, it weren't going to take long to see one of them, but still can do crazy numbers. But before we look at actually just this year's upcoming release, do you always find that as well, the Obsidian is such a good looking set, especially when you start talking about the floods, but doesn't really get the love, I would say, in comparison to some of the other Panini releases?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't, which is very upsetting because I bloody love Obsidian. It's one of, if not my favorite release of the year. Last couple of years we've broken it, and it's always been so much fun. Because the good thing about Panini is that when you open a case, compared to the Topps equivalent, which is Museum, you're guaranteed to get yourself a marquee case hit, which is a Color Blast. And then obviously a Contra. White Knight is the new case hit as well, which looks beautiful.
Yeah,
that Haaland image. If you haven't already seen that, check it out whenever you're next available to check that out. The Haaland Obsidian White Knight, stunning. And in person, it will look even better as well. That's the good thing about Obsidian. It just looks so beautiful. And then obviously you're guaranteed like a unbelievable auto per case. The case hit auto factor. And I mean, I'm already seeing some players who probably wouldn't be case hit autos, like the Fabio Cannavaro image I'm seeing here. He won't be a case hit auto, but if you get him in a case and then, I don't know, your case hits Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo or Maradona probably sneak his way in as always. There's some. I love it. I love Obsidian. It's so good. It's such a fun one to break as well, and just doesn't get the love. It really doesn't.
Yeah, I know we talk about I think the floods, the actual color, the floods in Obsidian, I think some of the best looking parallels you can get in cards, especially the gold flood. That was incredible. But you've got green floods, you've got blue floods, you've got red floods, you've got so many. No doubt they will add another one. For people who don't know the NBA world for Obsidian, honestly, there's about 15 floods in there. Like, it's incredible. But there's so many nice ones that you could do, like your purple floods and all of these colors. But it's going to be one of their sets. It's always good fun watching Obsidian. Like I say, it's a high-end set. Only features normally 7 cards per box or whatever it is. That obviously the good thing is with them, like in previous years, we obviously speculate again, it'll be the same of you get a Contra or a Color Blast. Like you normally get one of each per case. Sometimes you get 2 Color Blasts. Sometimes 2 Contras. Definitely not complaining if you hit 2 Color Blasts in one case. Never complain about that, especially if some guy pulls the Yamal spot and somehow they're correlations hitting with two. I can imagine that. But like I say, it's nice to see a more premium set release. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not in everyone's price bracket, but like you're saying, it is a generally very aesthetically pleasing set. Some of the etches as well. But always, I don't know if you've seen the pictures used on Obsidian is normally very good in comparison to that Prism, for example. They normally do hit the images quite well.
It's because it's such a unique product, isn't it? You know, you compared to your likes of Select and Prism, the players you can see the background that they're playing at or the stadium they're playing at. With Obsidian, it's just the players cut out in the background. They're placed on some wacky designs, whether it's the Lightning Strike Auto or the Contra or whatever, or the Color Blast, or like the White Knight. White Knight? Yeah, White Knight. I love it. I just want to have this in hand, but we know what Panini are like. It says September 2024. We're going to be seeing this product in October, November. You just know it's going to happen. And that's going to break my heart because this is a product I want to open day in, day out.
Oh, can't agree with you more. And like I say, it's nice to be, even despite these being last season's releases, it's nice now that within the next 4 to 6 weeks, there's going to be quite a few releases, which is great. Obviously, for us being women's collectors as well, it's fantastic that we've finally got a release date on Chrome. Seems like we have been waiting an eternity. It's near enough, as at the moment, about three and a bit months since the Women's Champions League final finished. So it's about 4 months after the final, we're going to get the set. So we can't wait to be breaking a lot of that. And no doubt, obviously, what else is going to come out, we don't know. Obviously, Immaculate soon, Impeccable soon. So Panini might have quite a busy end of year. But before, obviously, we finish up talking about all the sets, that was just to catch everyone up. Anything, obviously, I know you've got that Novak Djokovic sitting on your desk, which is an absolute lovely one. Any other pickups recently from you? I know there was one via me, the Sunday League Women's Special stream, which was absolutely fantastic on Sunday. But also, I hear a certain person on UPC's finally getting some autos coming out soon.
Yes. So obviously, going on to the theme of the card you got for me the other night in the Sunday League stream, the Chloe Kelly Field Level out 23 pink parallel from Donruss. So it's good to get that one ticked off. I'm actually building up a pretty decent rainbow now. We know how impossible it is to hit low numbered in Donruss. So God knows if the one of one's out there wherever, who knows. But yeah, Chloe Kelly, she's got autos in Man City forever, which has been delayed apparently. So yeah, again, when will I ever get my hands on some of those? I don't know. Hopefully people don't moon the prices of Chloe Kelly because it's her first official autos in products. Yep. Which is good. I obviously do have my own special autos already in the collection, which is a bit of a flex. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to finally getting some Topps cards for my PC because really most of it's Panini. I can't do much about that. That's just the players I collect seem to always have Panini cards. So yeah, Topps and the Forever cards are so nice fit premium card stock. I'm looking forward to it. Any pickups for yourself?
I'm trying to think now off the top of my head. I actually did have one. Finally, quite a big one that I've been chasing down for quite a period of time. Obviously, famously pulled by Dub Breaks. I did hit the Amelia Harvey 1-of-1 from last year's Chrome, and slowly piecing together the full rainbow. And there was one card which was left, and it's taken. Funny enough, it's actually not too long in all due respect to complete a full rainbow. It's about 2 and a bit months, but the reds are 5. And I was thinking, is this going to be one of them that just never, ever shows up? And I haven't been really looking too much on eBay and other websites, Card Hobby and all that recently, just been trying to save a bit of money and bits like that. But randomly decided to go on it on whatever day, I think it was Saturday or Sunday. And I just go, save search of it up. In the UK, 1 of 5. I was like, I closed it, reopened it just to make sure it was correct. And I was like, well, that's the last card for the rainbow. So I was like, well, I need to win that one. 1 of 5 as well. Fantastic. So when you're collecting and finishing a rainbow, the price of the card is like what we say before, doesn't really matter as much. Obviously, you don't want to overpay ridiculous by it, but you're not going to want to lose out because you might never see it again. So I put £70 on it because I was like, I need to win this card. And funny enough, that's more than I paid for the rest of the rainbow. Here it is. Obviously, not really the best lighting at the moment, being middle of the daytime for a change. But 1 of 5 red chrome. The red chromes are incredible to look at. The red chrome sapphire, and it's just incredible from Topps this year. But the completed rainbow is here. I will be putting a post up on my Instagram page probably tomorrow, so Wednesday, but it is here, the full rainbow. It's just so fun to collect the rainbow, just chasing them cards down. And I know for you, obviously, seeing quite a lot of it, obviously seeing the Harvey 1 of 1 being pulled, it's so good when you can piece together a rainbow. Like I know some of yours before the floods that you've been trying to track it down, you just never quite know when it's going to pop up. So you always have to be ready.
Yeah.
And it's the worst thing ever because you're always looking. Like you never don't look until you either get rid of the rest of the rainbow or you find it. So it's always good fun to chase a rainbow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been looking for the last 2 Charlie Austin ones for nearly 2 years now. It's just not happening. If anyone does see the out of 25, which someone should have found that by now, surely. And the true red out of 5, that's going to be the one, which is, will I ever see that? Who knows? But then there's a few Eze Obsidian ones, not too many, and obviously the Clive Tilsey 1 of 1 from Flagship. So, yeah, rainbow chasing is great. It's great fun. So if you do ever hit a 1 of 1 in a break, I recommend you just go for it, especially if it's like a cheaperish card player or something like that. You know, for example, recently I've been doing the Wendy Renard from the Bonmati Platinum one, hit the out of 10 in a personal box and out of 25 in a break, and then the out of 5 in the break. So I thought you might as well just carry on going. Just need the out of 99 and the 1 of 1, and then that rainbow's done. And that'd be a pretty cool collector's piece to have one of the best women's players of all time, full rainbow, cool imagery, and from that beautiful Bonmati set as well. So, yeah, if you do have any nice rainbows, do be sure to send them into the Instagram.
I was going to say, it's always great to have a look at rainbow, especially like you say, sometimes it starts with a 1 of 1, sometimes it starts with a 399 or another one in between. Just good fun, and it gives you that added incentive to look out for cards. But I feel like that's probably me talking about Wendy Renard so much that it's rubbed off on you a little bit that you've like, yeah, do you know what? I actually try and do the rainbow. But like I say, that Itona Bonmati set was an absolute privilege, that one, to get released, especially there was not much women's stuff. So that was a nice little preparation for the chrome, which is going to be great. And obviously, hopefully Sapphire, whenever that does come out. But women's chrome, it's going to be a great one. There will be a special WSL podcast just before that comes out in a few weeks' time, but also in inspiration of Sunday League investors as well. They've done an absolute fantastic stream. It was about an hour and a bit of just pure single cards getting sold to slabs and raw, and then going into breaks. I feel, don't you, that potentially there should be a UK one, which we might have to work on.
No, yeah, it will happen. It will happen. Keep your eyes peeled, people. Dub breaks, whatnot, whatever. It will happen.
Yeah, we've got to get that in. Like I say, one of my goals for the hobby is to try and get it more accessible women's cards around the UK and Europe. So do pay a close attention to the social, because there might be something announced in due course. But like I say, it's been surprisingly quite a bit to talk about. It always is. It's like London buses, this hobby. Nothing can happen, and then you get about 7 things all at once. But it's going to be a good couple of weeks. Like I say, load of breaks going to be happening, a load of singles being bought. Obviously, a few card shows as well now coming up. It's in full flow at the moment. So like I say, it's going to be great fun. And I've just had a dispatch notice on some Topps Nails Olympic cards, so hopefully I'll have them next week to show off. And that was using code GBW10. So obviously, now that the Champions League seasons is fast upon us, obviously after the draw in UEFA competitions, it's all systems go. We probably will see a Topps curated set for the new season not too far away as well.
Yeah, I mean, this month alone, we've got Merlin Chrome that's launching, and next month there's three big ones, being Women's Chrome, Euro Chrome is meant to be next month, and Stadium Club Chrome as well. So that's all happening next month. We've got 2 pretty sizable card shows this month as well, in the Southampton card show on the 14th, and then the Milton Keynes card show on the 14th, and the Southampton one on the 28th. So yeah, looking forward to attending the Southampton one. I'll definitely be out. Not sure about MK yet, but one of the Dub Breaks representatives will be there in MK, so don't worry about that. But yeah, exciting few weeks ahead. Looking forward to ripping some new wax.
Like I say, it's always good fun. Do keep your close eyes on the Dub Breaks website and also Whatnot potentially as well. That there'll be breaks and everything coming up very soon, no doubt, with all the new releases. And likewise, if you do want to see the new match attacks with actually some very good designs, I've got to say, and we don't obviously talk about it much on here, the new match attacks and stuff like that, but for the younger generation of collectors and some of the older ones as well who still want to get it, that does look actually it seems like they're trying to bridge that gap between match attacks and hobby and getting people prepared for it. So I know you spoke highly of it, but it's nice to see them trying to bring that gap a little bit closer between them starter sets and getting into the real stuff.
Well, it's the price on a pack's £3 this year, which a lot of people, including myself, when I first found that out, I nearly threw up in my mouth. But some of the hits you can get from a pack of match attacks this year is pretty good going, and there's a lot of cards you can hit. Which, you open a £3 pack, you're making a decent bit of profit out of it. The Chrome Hall of Fame cards that you're a big fan of, those Chrome Hall of Fame cards, I think they're stunning. They're beautiful. They're proper Chrome as well, not like this UCC Chrome we get these days, which is just thin Chrome. This is proper Chrome.
Yeah.
So Match Attacks is big release. They've done really well with it, and just a shame they didn't include the Women's Champions League players in this year. I think they'll keep that to Match Attacks Extra though. So that'd be good. Imagine a Chrome Hall of Fame Bonmati or Patelas or something like that. My word.
Yeah, like I say, it's all the interesting time for all the sets and everything else. But obviously, and yet again, a massive thanks to the guys over at Third Down Displays for powering up this episode of the Top Loaded Podcast. Do head over to their website, thirddown.co.uk, or over on their Instagram, or use the link in our bio and use code TTP10 for 10% off absolutely everything. And like I say, hope everyone out there is staying safe, buying, trading, all that good jazz. But most importantly, happy hobbying and good night.